Imagine soldiers storming into churches not to loot gold but to smash paintings of Jesus. For 150 years, the Byzantine Empire waged war on itself over a single question: is it acceptable to paint a picture of God? Thousands died, emperors rose and fell, families split apart. The answer would reshape Christianity forever, and the real reasons behind this conflict had as much to do with politics as prayer. Iconoclasm means image breaking. Iconoclasts believed that venerating religious images led to idolatry, that people stopped praying through the image and started praying to it. The painting became the sacred object itself. But iconoclasts weren't blanket anti-art. They held nuanced positions. Crosses remained acceptable, abstract symbols of faith. Saint images were forbidden, too easily worshipped. Christ images sparked the fiercest debate. Could you depict someone who was both human and divine? This controversy tapped into Christianity's deepest tensions about representing the divine. Icons created multiple access points to God. Pray to this saint for healing, that saint for protection, another for safe travel. Iconoclasts saw fragmented worship. Instead of one God, believers had dozens of sacred intermediaries. This raised uncomfortable questions. Are intermediaries between God and humans legitimate? How does the divine connect with humanity? How many paths to God should exist? Here's a theory that seems logical. Islam's rise influenced Byzantine iconoclasm. The Arab armies were winning. Islam strictly forbade religious images. Perhaps Byzantines wondered if the icons had angered God. Perhaps Islamic criticism stung. The timing fits. Iconoclasm emerged as Islamic power peaked. But here's the problem. No direct evidence supports this connection. No Byzantine iconoclast text cites Islamic arguments. No emperor justified image breaking by pointing to Muslim success. If Islamic influence didn't cause iconoclasm, what proves it's an internal Christian tension? Jump forward 700 years to Northern Europe. Protestant reformers smashed statues, shattered stained glass, whitewashed murals. Same fears, same destruction, same targets, Catholic superstition, and saint veneration. No Islamic influence possible. The Ottoman Empire posed no cultural threat to 16th century Germany or England. Iconoclasm arose independently, twice, separated by 7 centuries and thousands of miles. The controversy lasted 150 years through multiple cycles. Emperor Leo III launched the first iconoclast period in 726. His son Constantine Severus intensified the campaign. Then Empress Irene restored icons in 787. Emperor Leo V revived iconoclasm in 815. Finally, Empress Theodora ended it permanently in 843. Notice the pattern. Iconoclasm flourished under iconoclast emperors. Icons returned under icon-supporting rulers. The theology didn't change. Imperial policy did. Each emperor chose a side, and the empire followed. This wasn't organic religious evolution. This was top-down religious policy, cycling with each regime change over 5 generations. Why would emperors care so much about religious images, power? Saint cults dispersed religious authority across the empire. Each monastery, each shrine, each miracle-working icon commanded local loyalty. Pilgrims traveled to specific saints, not to Constantinople. Donations flowed to local churches, not imperial coffers. Clergy who controlled popular icons wielded enormous influence. Iconoclasm offered emperors a solution. Destroy the images, and you destroy competing centers of spiritual authority. All devotion flows upward, to God, yes, but through an emperor who controls religious practice. Iconoclasm wasn't just theology. It was a power grab disguised as piety. The political dimension explains the controversy's strange persistence. Pure theological disputes get resolved, councils meet, arguments happen, someone wins. But when theology masks a power struggle, resolution becomes impossible. Each new emperor had fresh incentives to choose a side. Icon supporters controlled monasteries and popular devotion. Iconoclasts promised centralized authority. The debate kept reopening because the underlying political stakes never disappeared until 1843, when a particular balance of power finally stabilized. In 843, Empress Theodora restored icons permanently. The settlement stuck because it established clear boundaries. Icons were legitimate, but the theology of how to venerate them was carefully defined. Worship belonged to God alone. Icons received veneration, a lesser honor. This distinction satisfied enough parties to hold. The Orthodox Church still celebrates this resolution as the triumph of orthodoxy every year. But the 150-year war had permanently shaped Eastern Christianity's relationship to images, more cautious, more theologically defended, more aware of the dangers. This history gives us a framework for understanding religious controversies. When you encounter a theological dispute, past or present, ask, who benefits politically? The iconoclasm debate looked like an argument about art and idolatry. Underneath, emperors fought monasteries for control of spiritual authority. The Protestant Reformation looked like an argument about salvation and scripture. Underneath, princes fought the Pope for control of church wealth and appointments. And this pattern repeats because religion and power intertwine. Churches accumulate influence, but political leaders want that influence. Theological arguments become weapons in political struggles. Christianity repeatedly struggles with the boundary between material and spiritual, relics, sacraments, images, buildings. Each controversy reveals the same tension. How does the infinite divine connect with finite human experience, and who gets to control that connection?